Hi, my name is Lady Leva, and I'm gonna be talking today about antimicrobial resistant infections. Let's first understand what are those. What is antimicrobial resistant infection? It's a phenomenon in which bacteria competes against each other for resources for food by manufacturing lethal compounds that they direct among them. Other bacteria, to protect themselves, evolve defenses against the chemical attack. In other words, a gradual process that occurs in diseases causing bacteria when they're able to resist to the effects of the antibiotic drugs. 10 of the most common antibiotic resistant bacteria. Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Gonorrhea is spread through sexual contact and causes various infections in both men and women. Certain strains of the bacteria have shown resistance to antibiotics and have mutated over the course of the 50 years or so. Acinetobacter baumannii. Illness caused pneumonia, meningitis, urinary tract infection. The bacteria can survive in harsh conditions for long periods of time, so are often difficult to deal with in weaker patients, and coupled with increased resistance presents a tough challenge when encountered by doctors. Staphylococcus aureus, first documented in 1884. Illness caused pneumonia, flesh-eating disease, more commonly known as MRSA, which stands for methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. This superbug is easily spread through human contact and can cause a range of illness from skin disorders to deadly diseases like meningitis and pneumonia. Burkholderia cepacia. Illness caused pneumonia. This is a low antibiotic resistance. While it must respond well to treatment with a combination of antibiotics, it has been shown to have a highly level of resistance to several types of antibiotics and is able to survive in extreme conditions. Pseudomonas aeruginosa, first documented in 1872. Illness caused pneumonia, various infectious diseases. Quick to mutate and adapt to counter different antibiotic treatments. Shows as innate ability to develop resistance to antibiotics, described as opportunistic, because it primarily affects humans that are already critically ill. Clostridium difficile, first documented in 1935, illness caused diarrhea. One of the better known superbugs because of a consistent presence in hospitals around the world. Despite a major effort in improving hygiene in hospitals, the bacteria is responsible for a significant number of deaths globally. Escherichia coli, illness caused diarrhea, urinary tract infections, meningitis, antibiotic resistance high, is another concerning example of a bacteria that has the potential to cause problems if our use of antibiotics goes unchecked. Mycobacterium tuberculosis, first documented in 1882, illness caused tuberculosis. Tuberculosis has been known by many names, including scrofula and the white plague, and has been a huge cause of death throughout history in the human being. Klebsiella pneumonia, first documented in 1886. Illness caused lung infection pneumonia. Antibiotic resistance is medium. Can cause a range of infections and has been proven to be very resistant to a range of antibiotics, primarily affecting middle-aged and older men with weakened immune systems. Streptococcus pyogenes, illness caused sore throat and skin disorders. Streptococcus pyogenes causes over 700 million infections globally every year and has a high mortality rate of 25% in serious cases. Now we can see three different x-rays with presence of various infections. So now guys, I'm going to show you a video about a person living with resistant antibiotic.
Coming up into the city of Portland after 11 hours in the saddle, got to be emotional. I just broke down. I'm doing this. I'm gonna make it.
I knew he was going to do it, but I was overcome with a lot of emotion, realizing that just 6 months before that, he was lying down on a couch and not able to do the things for himself that he once did.
I was part of the good outcome. There are far too many that are on the opposite end and lose their battle, their fight with their antibiotic-resistant infection. My original injury came during a basketball game.
Well, he had had surgery on his ACL, and Chris actually had already started doing all the recovery process and was walking well. And so we were given permission to go on a trip.
And on our way back home from that vacation, we stopped at a water park.
Within, I would say, less than 10 hours, his leg was completely swollen, red, hot to touch.
I went to the doctor the next day. They were determined that I had acquired a MRSA infection in my knee.
The doctor said that we would need to stay in the hospital and be isolated for a few days. They sent us home. His symptoms kind of resurfaced.
It felt like the rest of my body was just deteriorating. Go to the emergency room.
Put me into panic mode.
What if this doesn't go away?
They did several more surgeries on Christopher's knee.
Multiple surgeries.
Trying to get the infection under control. There was something going on outside of the surgery that we had not seen.
They didn't know where else to look for the infection.
Possibly gone to his brain. The doctor basically told me at that point that it had gone to his brain, that there wasn't a lot that they could do because he was on the highest, most potent antibiotic that they know to treat MRSA. And I faced the realization that I might lose him. And at 30 years old, I wasn't ready to be a widow or to be a single mom. They went in and removed it all, but with that, Chris lost a lot of movement in his leg. He was unable to do the easy things like go to the bathroom by himself or get food for himself.
I couldn't be the husband that I needed to be, that I wanted to be for my wife. I couldn't be who I wanted to be for my kids.
When he was really sick, my son would take his Legos and sit on his dad's bed.
I love being a dad. More than anything, and not being able to be that wrestling, running around, Lego building, tea party sipping dad that I had been. It was incredibly difficult emotionally. It was literally a moment while I was in the hospital in bed that I decided I have to do something. I started looking for a job in healthcare to take the talents and the passion that I have to people who needed it. I think chefs have an amazing power to make people happy and to help in the healing process. It's been an incredible journey striving towards this goal of protecting the antibiotics that we have now, whether it's in animal agriculture or human medicine. Every time we use an antibiotic, they become less and less effective. At this point, what I do every quarter is take an inventory of what percentage of the proteins that I'm buying are classified as reduced or responsible use of antibiotics. There are opportunities where antibiotics are the answer. There are places where it's not. So I think we just need to figure out, are we using those tools that we have correctly? Are we making the right decision? Guys, you gotta get there.
This experience has changed us forever. One, I think learning to seize our moments. We're not promised another breath. I look at where we were and where we are now, and I can't imagine it being the other way.
I don't want to be part of a post-antibiotic era, and my kids, they're 16 and 14. They got hopefully a very long life ahead of them. I don't want them to go through anything similar to what I did from a simple, routine surgery.